Active Learning Game Design Part 9. Writing the game instructions. In this segment, we are going to discuss game rules and instructions and a couple of tips to write them effectively. Why they are important. When someone wants to try your game, reading the rules is usually one of the first things they will do. Even if the game is great, if the instructions are poorly written, the game experience will be frustrating. Taking time to write the rules clearly might even highlight some points to be improved before you decide on the definitive version of the game. The fundamentals of writing. The main qualities of good explanatory writing are clarity, brevity, and completeness. You need to cover all the elements of the game and all the possibilities, but you need to write them as simple and brief as possible. Take away anything that is not absolutely necessary to get a full understanding of the game. The structure. Game instructions can vary from game to game, but will usually contain the following sections. Introduction. The introduction introduces the theme, the story, and what role the players will take. The introduction usually sets the tone and stage of the game for the whole experience. Components. This section goes either first or at the end. It lists the pieces that you need to play so that people know if they have everything they need to play before starting. Setup. This section explains how to get the game ready for play. The rules and what the pieces are used for are not important at this stage, only laying out how the game is set up. It usually comes with a map or diagram of the game when it's ready to play. Objective. This section presents the goal of the game and what the players will need to do to win the game. It's more technical than the introduction, which is just a narration of the theme and story of the game. Gameplay. The main gameplay section breaks down the game and explains how it's played. It is usually a turn-by-turn explanation of the different actions players will take. This section explains the flow of the game from start to ending. Clarification. This optional section is used to clarify rules if some aspects look contradictory or if there are exceptions to the main rule. Sometimes it takes the form of a box narrating the actions of the standard turn before presenting the additional rules. Variation. This optional section can suggest variations of the rule for more experienced players. This is an advantage as it gives the game more replayability. The tone and voice. Most rule books try to be as direct as possible. For example, they won't write player A draws a card or the players roll a dice, but you draw a card, you roll a dice. They will usually assign a role for clarity, the active player whose turn it is to play, against the opponent for the other players. Turn-by-turn elements or crucial information will be presented in bullet point lists instead of paragraphs, and text box can be used to highlight important elements of the game. Of course, diagrams and visual representations of the game action are also a great tool and frequently used as well. Conclusion. The game instructions are one of the most crucial parts of the game, as they are the gateway through which the players will engage the game. They need to be complete and clear so that participants can understand how the game can be played by themselves, but concise enough not to bore or frustrate the players. In writing clear game instructions, rules, and guidelines, we ensure that people will have an enjoyable game experience. This section is now over. Resources and links can, as usual, be found in the description.